Okay, so we're here at the Henry Doorly Zoo in Omaha, Nebraska, and there is something very interesting that happened here. Let's go. As it turns out, in 2001, one of the sharks in the aquarium gave birth without mating, a process called parthenogenesis. So this made us think about how different animals reproduce and how different they are from humans. And once you start looking into it, you'll discover some really interesting behaviors.
Ants are rad. There's thousands of them here. Every single one of them here working in mass to help out the entire colony. Each little one able to carry up to 10 times their own body weight.
Well, here's an interesting fact for you. Pretty much every ant you see here, and likely every ant you will ever see, is a female.
Look at that one. That's a female there. There's a lady, girl, lady.
Big one.
Ooh. That's a muchacha. Ow, that one's... Oh.
So some animals, like many insects, can obviously give birth to very skewed gender ratios. How could that be? Wouldn't you think the chance of having a son or a daughter would be the same?
Let's start with the basics. The sex of humans is determined by the X and Y chromosomes given from the parents. The egg always gives an X, and the sperm either contributes an X or a Y. The pairing of XX produces a female, while an XY pairing produces a male. Many animals, however, are very different from humans. Take these birds, for example. They have a somewhat opposite system to ours. So female birds have 2 different sex chromosomes, a Z and a W. Now, male birds have 2 of the same. They have 2 Zs. And that's actually pretty much the exact opposite of what we have as humans. Of course, how the W's and Z's combine is still a bit of a mystery in the world of ornithologists.
So clearly animals like birds are different than us, but it still doesn't explain if it's actually possible for certain animals to choose the gender of their offspring. To answer this question, we decided to check out some research on reptiles. So I took a trip to the Houston Zoo to visit Dr. Joe Flanagan, Director of Veterinary Science. In the reptile house, he showed me a few of their turtles and explained how the sex of some reptiles is determined.
There is something unique in turtles, tortoises, and crocodilians and the tuatara, and that is temperature-dependent sex determination. And that is the temperature of incubation of the eggs determines whether the offspring from that egg will be a male or a female. So warmer temperatures for the eggs will produce more females, and cooler temperatures will determine more males. And there is a temperature where you'll get an equal split. In reptiles, and specifically turtles, crocodilians, there are temperature-dependent things that happen, and that with turtles, it's thought that at warmer temperatures, there's more estrogen produced by some of the generic cells, and that estrogen then influences the gonad tissue.
But the environment can play a role in sex determination. There are even some animals where social conditions can influence the sex of their offspring.
You will never believe how the gender of some fish is determined. Check this out. Many fish like these wrasses are born functionally female. There's usually only one dominant male in the group. When he dies, one of the females will switch to become a male. The female then undergoes a complex transition that usually involves changing color, size, and reproductive organs completely. Other fish like clownfish are born male and may switch to female later. And some fish like these hamlets are male and female at the same time. This is called simultaneous hermaphrodism. It's a crazy, crazy world down here.
Okay, so we've learned that various factors, in addition to genes, can determine the sex of some animals. You see, the sex of humans and birds depends on the pairing of sex chromosomes. Temperature controls reptile sex, and hormones often control fish sex.
And we haven't even looked into the most diverse group, the insects. But we'll leave the learning of that to you. But in the meantime, never stop exploring your world.
Look at these little ladies, they really like my shirt.
Woo!